Thank you, Abraham. I love you, Abraham. Please tell Esther I love her. And if she ever needs help moving furniture, to give me a call.
We're going to need this.
I was serious. A lot of things have been happening since my brother's death this past July. Like, my life is in review. I've been thinking things over, and I've been running into a lot of people from my childhood on. A lot. I'm not sure why.
Because thoughts of your childhood have been activated by the experience of your brother making his transition. It isn't because he is thinking about that and you're picking up on him. It's that around the time and subject of his making his transition, you became more contemplative of early days, and you just activated more of those vibrations. And you know then what law of attraction does with that.
Okay, well then that makes a lot of sense to me.
Anything that's active within you, you're going to see more of it, because this getting ready to be ready to be ready to be ready, it goes across all subjects.
Okay, well then it also explains how growing up was unpleasant at home. It wasn't good.
Yeah.
But I had a very vivid imagination.
Yes.
And if I would see romantic scenes on television, I thought, well, that's love. So even in the first grade, I would see pretty girls, and I would, in my mind, say, well, she's my girlfriend. And so I had a list of girlfriends, and that sort. But I maintained that, believing this is love. And so one time, not too far from home, I'd often walk around by myself, and I found this grass alley that I never knew was there, and I walked down the alley, and then it was one spot where it was just warm. It was warm. And then there was another location, maybe a half mile away. It's just on a corner of a street, same sensation. And so moving forward a little bit, you get into that dating stage. You're dating different girls. And, well, this is love, I thought, but it really wasn't. Then right before...
Well, maybe not, but it was getting ready to get ready to get ready. You can't be other than whatever your point of attraction is, and that's okay. So whatever your point of attraction is then gives you the experience that causes more launching of rockets of desires, and therefore more definition between what your inner being knows you really want and where you are. It's all good.
Well, I had no idea of the law of attraction or the rockets of desire. I just would...
You don't need to know about gravity not to fall up either. Experience gives you a lot of information, doesn't it?
I'm realizing that now. I didn't see how these things were falling into place until that one time I'm walking down towards that corner I'd mentioned. And walking around the corner was the sweetest, prettiest, cutest little kitten girl. It was love at first sight. I knew the girl she was walking with. I get a phone call the next day. Said, this girl likes you. And I'm thinking, wow, I'm really, happy and all that. And so we started dating. And I remember the first time I kissed this girl, I was like, wow, my knees buckle and I'm in love and all that. It was wonderful. But I couldn't date her for long because of, again, problems at home. I really couldn't take her to social events and there was formal dances. I couldn't do it. And I was trying to hide from everybody the circumstances I was living with. So I break up with this girl and I really broke my own heart. And I thought it was all forgotten, but it's sort of coming back. But anyway, what I didn't understand was as time moved on, I would push love away if it was available.
We want to interject something here just very briefly. We want you to realize that every time you say, I didn't understand, you're speaking from a place of now understanding. And it serves you to speak from your now understanding place as much as you can. Because whenever, from a place of understanding, you say, then I didn't understand, you introduce resistance into what you now understand.
Yeah.
That's why looking back is usually not very productive or satisfying. But continue.
Eventually, I happened to come across who would become my wife and still is. And I'm very blessed. I've had a wonderful life with her. But again, I can look back and see opportunities to correct mistakes that I missed out on. I didn't realize that.
But here's the thing.
The universe was just constantly.
We really want you to feel the futility of that, the futility of looking back, the unproductiveness, the not benefit of looking back and pinpointing a missed opportunity. Because there is no such thing. Because you're offering a vibration, and that's what you're ready for. And so your work constantly is to feel satisfaction in what you are receiving, because that's what you're ready for. At the same time, sending off rockets of desire for more. It goes exactly like this. So here you stand, life's coming to you, you're acknowledging life as it comes, and from it you are discerning what you do want and what you don't want, what you don't want and what you do want, and launching these rockets even at less than really aware consciousness. In other words, you aren't often even saying the words, but an experience of knowing what you don't want, there is a natural knowing of what you do want. And so you launch that rocket and it becomes a part of your vibrational reality, where it is tended to is not quite the right word, because we don't want you to feel that you're being protected, but your inner being is embracing and becoming and constantly aware of all of the components that you've been asking for. Now, you're never a vibrational match to what you want when it has been born out of your awareness of what you don't want, because what you don't want is your dominant vibration. But in time, those feelings of warm corners can call you toward more of what you want. In other words, as you feel an impulse that feels good to you and you follow it, then you often become a vibrational match to what you do want, without even consciously really being aware that you've accomplished that. And in doing so, you move to a different vibrational stance, where now your point of attraction has shifted enough that you now let in more of what you do want. And so you have a manifestation, because you got ready to be ready, to be ready, to be ready, and then now it manifests. Well, with that manifestation comes the satisfaction of the manifestation, of course, but also a new set of contrasting experiences that causes more launching of more desire, and on it goes. So you're not ready for it, and then you are, and then you get it, and then you ask for more, which you're not ready for, but then you get ready for it, and then it manifests. This is just the eternal process, the never-ending process of becoming. It's just the way you knew it would be.
Well, again, I agree with you.
Yes.
But I couldn't help but feeling this draw that, like, I had to look backwards. Again, when I mentioned these two spots where I was feeling, well, that one other spot, that grass alley, was right behind this girl's house. I didn't even know that. And that it never occurred to me till within recent weeks how, again, the law of attraction has been following.
Can you hear us when we say? So we'll go back there with you, and we will, for a brief moment, feel the discord of your family life. And from it, we will recognize your often launching of a powerful desire for a life more like the ones you saw on television, and not like the one you were living at home. That was a steady stream of rocket firing that you were putting into your vortex. And then there comes a person who, in her alignment and in her awareness of you and in her sensitivity to a pure heart and a sweet being, she found appreciation for you, genuine appreciation for you. And can you feel that at that stage of your life and at that experience of your asking, that's what you were asking for. You were not asking at that point in your life for the long-term, happily ever after. This is a person that I will walk with forevermore. That's not what you were asking for. That's not what you were ready for. And that's not what happened. But what you were ready for was someone to see you from a perspective of source. What you were ready for is someone to flow some genuine appreciation towards you. What you were ready for was to recognize that you are lovable and that you are worthy and that you are valuable, that you are valued. That is what you were ready for, and that is what you received. And there was no missed opportunity. There was no lost love. There was nothing that you missed out on. It was perfect as it was.
Thank you. I did need some clarity on that.
And so the impulse that you were feeling, and we really are appreciating and enjoying your vivid memory of how those spots felt. Those spots where someone who was appreciating you spent a good deal of time. And you know, when we're talking about, we never cease to talk about it these days, of being in the receiving mode and feeling an impulse. That impulse for you at those times was translated into that feeling of, I just want to go there. It was a feeling of satisfaction. You described it as warm. We want to be more general and call it, it was a satisfying feeling. And these are clues, isn't quite the right word, but messages that your inner being is sending you constantly. How are you going to know what path to follow? Your inner being is calling you and projecting to you continual messages and information about what would feel good to you and 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 what would feel good to you. And the thing that is really interesting is that even all these years later, those moments of being in the receiving mode and actually translating that message into an impulse, ooh, this feels good here, still feels to you like such a rare thing that it stands out vividly in your mind. And we want for all of you, for those feelings to not be rare, but to just be common. Excuse me, I gotta go follow my warm feeling. I'll talk to you later. I'd really like to stay and visit, but my warm feeling's going this way. See you later. Oh, this job looks like a really good job, and oh, it pays so much, but the warm feeling is over here. We're not kidding. The whole message that we are offering is that you are an extension of source energy of an inner being, and that inner being knows who you are and is the furthest evolution of who you are and is constantly calling you home.